the next thing I know, I'm on the picket line and I get a phone call from CUPE Local 936, were the maintenance workers, and they looked after the Holy Cross and what's the other hospital? I can't remember. The Rocky View and the Colonel Belcher, and they had left. They had walked off the job, and they were coming down to the picket line. I mean, they didn't even have a laundry, but this is the effect this had. I mean, it was like enough is enough. The cutbacks have to stop somewhere, and it took this kick in the stomach to these laundry workers who had already taken a $2 an hour rollback to save their jobs, and it just went from there. I mean, it grew. I mean, we were getting calls that people were walking out all over the province. Sometimes it was just at noon hour, sometimes it was for a whole day, but it grew and it grew and it grew. And I remember doctors coming down. I remember people I'd never seen before, people from the university coming down and walking the picket line, members of the public coming and walking the picket line. It was awesome. And then little pickets were starting up all over the city in different places, in front of nursing homes. You know, I think almost every hospital in the province had some sort of action, whether it was leafleting, whether it was a lunchtime picket. There was something going on. And it was like Klein had to blink or that was going to be it. And he did. He did. And I think the scary part, and it wasn't scary, it was, for me, it was a disappointing. And you can't really blame anybody, but at the time, health sciences and the nurses were both voting whether to strike or not, whether to join the picket line. And I didn't pray much those days, but I was praying that they would. I was like thinking, if they decided as provincial bodies that they were going to come out, or even if they just did it in Calgary, we could turn this whole thing around. Like, we could just straighten out all of the problems, and they didn't. The votes were very close from both the health sciences and the nurses, and I remember some of the members coming back so disappointed, especially the ones from the general, were so disappointed that the votes didn't go through. And they didn't want to go back to work. They just wanted to stay on the picket line. And they really didn't have a choice. And I was so proud of them, but disappointed in the big picture union. And things started changing after that. Of course, your national gets involved, and it takes on a life of its own. It lost the people's struggle at that point, you know, and unfortunately decisions were made that were not made by the people who were out on the Wildcat. Decisions were made by leaders, and unfortunately they were union leaders, but they were part and parcel of it. And I still remember the meeting we had to, I guess, end the strike. And it's the first time I was ever really mad at my union. Mm-hmm. And I remember taking a megaphone and slamming it on the stage. I was so disappointed because we could have done so much here, and it was just all taken away.